hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laugh so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running.
Good afternoon. Hopefully you can hear me all. I should have audio at least. Good afternoon from the Netherlands. It is 1 minute past 2 p.m. Central European time here, and good morning to the US, good afternoon to Europe, and good evening to the Australian and down under people. Revenant says here, I hope you had a pleasant trip. Yes, I did. Thank you. And good morning, Megan. So yeah, I did indeed have a great trip. We had a small little celebration because if everything has gone right, that would be the great news. This should have been the very last chemotherapy treatment that my mom went under. So we are now just praying that when I go back in a few weeks and bring her to the PET scan, that the final PET scan will show great results. That will be at least the dream, right? So yeah, further than that, I am good. You can see that I have cozied up. I am in a shawl and I have long sleeves on. And in fact, I am also in a blanket and I do have a warm tea next to me. Tea. Because it's autumn. It's really gotten autumn here in the Netherlands. The last 2 days has been windy and rainy. There's been some sun in between, but this classic, the sun shines and then it's windy and then it rains. And then it's a bit sunny again, and then it's windy and it rains. That's the weather right now. And the temperature has plummeted. Like it's maybe 16, 17 degrees at best outside, which is like below 70. So it's like in the mid 60s, which for spring would be awesome, but not so much when you have just been used to summer. So it's not super warm. Maybe we can get Nightbus to help us with some more exact weather here. But we definitely had the first autumn storm this week. The weather for VATCO in Texas right now is clear with a temperature of 72 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's about 22 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from southwest at 2 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 76. Good afternoon, Helle. Great to see you. Great to see you. So, I do have a few things laid out here. I do have some yarns we are going to talk about because we are going to find a project for it, basically. And am I sure what shawl I will start on? Not 100%. I guess it slightly also depends on the yarn of choice we end up choosing. But I was thinking that we talk about the yarns and then we'll throw up a poll and then you guys can vote. And whichever has the most votes, I will do. Should there be a tie, I do reserve the rights to pick the yarn of those two that speaks the most to me. But you guys basically have the influence. on which that we will play with. The weather in New Jersey is right now 64 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from northeast at 10 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 87. It's cloudy there. It sounds almost like what it is here, except, well, it's not as windy as it was yesterday, but it's really, yeah, it's autumn. Think that would be the most correct to say. The wind, not the wind, the tea I have today is the Nijmegen, which is a loose tea blend that is regional here to the city of Nijmegen, which is not far from where I live. See what I say? We have 61 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees, and the wind is blowing from south-southwest at 12 miles per hour. Current humidity is 80. It's been raining today also, actually. It's like a drizzle outside. So conditions are showers in the vicinity. Yes, I would say it would be a constant drizzle, but it's fresh. No, so yeah, it's a loose tea blend. It's a black tea. It has flavors of cornflower petals. Um, I do believe there might be raisins in this one as well, but definitely dried pineapple. So it's like a fresh tea. Bonjour, Isabelle. Isabelle is from Normandia, which is in France. I do apologize, my French is not the most solid. I do speak 4 languages, but French is not one of them. That said, I have been to France a couple of times, and I can actually read a French menu card, which is really, really handy dandy when you're in France. I think I've had some of the best fish dishes in my life in France. Couple of years ago, actually it's 10 years ago already. Wow. I was in a French city at the coast at let's see if I can remember what was named. In Le Sablé d'Olonne. Le Sablé d'Olonne. And that was a really, really wonderful visit. I actually had won a gift card to a hotel stay. So we went there and we, at the promenade, at the harbor, there was some really, really great fish restaurants. So we had some really great fish dishes there. So definitely good memories from France in many terms. But yeah, further than that, I don't speak much French. So we are here to talk about yarns. I do have a few projects that I have to work on, but since we talked about let's find the yarn to work with, I should create a poll. Before creating the poll, I think we will talk about the yarns. That seems logic, right? And then we can create a poll to see what we want to work with. I have 2 cakes from Yarn Art. They're the Yarn Art flowers, and then I have 2 Stanley cakes. One of the cakes is a little bit different than the rest in the sense of color-wise, I guess. And it just spoke to me because it's autumn and we are heading into the autumn months. So it seems kind of logic to choose this. Also, it is a little bit like a pumpkin. I think I would call it pumpkin spice if they actually had names. And the sad thing is, of course, the light here doesn't completely truly grab it, but it is like a rusty brown here on the outside. And then we have more of like a solid orange that goes into a pinky peach. And then it goes into these lighter pinks, and you have a white center. That will be this one. And this is the colorway 288. 288. So these are the Yarn Art flowers. And this is one of the old labels. So this is like a vintage cake almost. It is made in Turkey. Classified as a 1 weight. It's probably like somewhere between a 1 and 2 weight. It's usually, let's see, they're 55% cotton, 45% acrylic, 250 grams, so that is 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters or 1,093 yards. So a good solid cake, which can make a good solid shawl. So this is option 1, and it really just kind of spoke to me because of the kind of autumnish colors. So I thought, yes, that might actually be an option. So that would be 1. And then I have another yarn at flowers, but it has a bit of a newer label. You can see this is a different label, but this cake is the same brand. It's just from a newer batch. This is the colorway 273, and this is a really lovely navy blue that goes into the lighter blues before it goes into I would say pinks, but it's like fuchsia like pink. It looks a little bit more diluted on the screen than it is in reality. I think the photo might be a bit better. It's like mauve here in the center, right? It's like a darker pink. Mauve, I think, would be a good name for this colory. I have no clue what I would call it in reality, though, but it's blue to pinks. And then I do have 2 Stanley cakes. The option we could choose here between would be either a Stanley Candy Royal Cake, which is this friend, and oh my goodness, the light is horrid for this. I don't know, let's see what happens if I... Oh, that goes worse. Oh my goodness. Oh, here it's not too bad. I'm just going to see if I can find a different light setting. Maybe that is the key. Sometimes that has been the key. No, that goes worse. Just a moment. That's like really dark, but well, here might be okay, actually. Let's see if that's better for this one too. Yeah, it is. Aha. That seems pretty accurate on screen. But as I said, we have here the Candy Royal, which is a Pleta yarn, or Stanley yarn from Pleta in Bulgaria. It is a 330 gram cake. So this is heavier than this, but it's still just 1,000 meters, so it is a heavier yarn. I would normally then say slightly thicker, but not really, but it's because the other is a bit more airy. This is 100% cotton though. What would 330 grams be even? 7, 9 point, almost 10, somewhere between 9.5 and 10 ounces. And it comes in this like very like dark purple, faded purple, mauve-like colors into this white, which was in the center. Let's see, was it over here I had it? Yeah, it was. So it has this white center. That's kind of the option here. This is the colorway 904, and it's the first dye lot because I remember I made this order of these yarns back when they just launched the Candy Royal line. Though I haven't ordered for Pleta for more than a year, and I'm so tempted of making a new yarn order, but I don't have room. So a good reason to use some cakes, right, to make rooms in my stash. The other cake I have, and the last cake option I have, is the Muffin and Mini Luxe, which is also a quite purple cake. I don't know why this light is so horrid. I'm sorry. It doesn't help that it's getting autumn here either. Anyhow, we have these darker purples, so these lighter purples, and we have a silver lining thread going through. The Muffin Mini Luxe is partially lurex. It's 90% acrylic, 10% lurex. It's 250 grams, so 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters or 1,093 yards. So that's the same for them all. They're all 1,000 meters or 1,093 yards. 3 of them weigh the same, except this one is slightly bit more heavier. And I just lost the little tag that's up here. So just one moment before I forget it, it's on the floor. The Stanley Cakes comes with these small tabs for the center pull, which is kind of cool. So that would be this option. That's the Muffin Mini Luxe, and this is a colorway 1651. I get them from Pleta, that is in Bulgaria. Right now, I am afraid that would be rather expensive to ship to the US because of those de minimis. And then, of course, we have the Yarn Art Flowers, which is, they are Turkish. They're Turkish, but I did get them somewhere else. So, yes, we have nice yarns. Great autumn shawl colors. Yes, they could be great autumn shawl colors. I think in any case, this one is a great autumn shawl color. Actually, this is much better lighting for this as well, to be shown. So I am gonna set up a poll, and then we'll figure out which yarn we're gonna use. I don't know yet. You guys help me decide, and then we will figure out a shawl pattern. And my idea is to start on another red teapot atelier design that I've not done yet. So there's a few options depending on the yarn we choose. Megan says she was happy to get an order from them just before the tariffs. I can definitely understand that. Definitely. I wonder if people have been ordering here after the tariffs, not necessarily by Pleta, but uh, outside of the US, and if they have been struck by those horrendous fees, or if those companies has organized the tariffs in a such way that the parcels has actually arrived without extra added fees. Let's see what I could do when. Ooh, another direction. I have some added light here because I get really, really dark when I just keep the dark on, but apparently I need a little bit of lighting not to fade completely away depending on where the focus is on this cam. Susan says the muffin cakes looks nice for winter shawl. Definitely. Definitely. Wool Warehouse and other places won't ship to the US. Yeah. For me, it's kind of like the same. I was thinking about doing a few things. Also, I used to do giveaways like 2 years ago. I did quite a few giveaways actually. And I can't do those to the US anymore because my shipping carrier just don't ship to the US currently. Or I'll need to option for different shipping carrier, and it would cost me like $60+ depending on the size and weight of the parcel just to get it there. And now I'm not talking the tariffs on top. This is crazy. Like, it's gotten extremely expensive to ship to the US. Hobby's adding $20 surcharge for tariffs to any shipment to the US, so won't be putting any other order within them. No, yeah, I can imagine. So it's just a question of waiting, hopefully, that the administration realize within the next 6 months that this is way more expensive and complicated than they desire. Let's hope for that. Right. That's kind of the only hope I have for you guys. Let's see. I needed to add a poll, and that takes a little bit for me to set it up. So please give me a moment to set it up. So, which do we have? We had the Yarn Art Flowers. Shall I just call them the color they have rather than the... Because I can obviously use the color name, which is not the color name, it's more like color number. But people won't know that, so I'll just call it brown orange. Well, what color would we even call this? Brown or rust to light pink would probably be the right. Rust to pink. Well, white actually. So yarn art flowers, which would be blue 2, maroon, mauve, I think would be the right choice of color. But it says it's, some say it's like, yeah, well, it's a pale purple. But I don't agree with that. I don't know. Then we have Stanley Candy Royal. Purple to white. And we have a Stanley Muffin Mini Luxe, which is purple to light purple. Oh, I can't do that. Colors. I'll just do this. And here we go, hopefully. And what I'll do is I should actually pin this somehow. This should be pinned. No? Yes? No, I can only finish it. So hopefully it's, oh, it should, I think, be pinned. No? Anyhow, we have some options. Ta-ta! But somehow I just don't get, I don't know why I don't get the poll on my site stream here, but maybe it's because it's for myself. I don't know. Anyhow, we have votes coming in. We have definitely a favorites of the Muffin Mini Luxe here. And then the Yarnut Flowers Blue to Mauve colors. 3 votes has been cast. The regime is very stupid and isolationist, so I'm holding my breath. Yes, please. I've never ordered from outside the USA, but I've gotten many good yarns from other countries from mystery boxes. Valid. It's also an option. I think just, you know, it's the same. A part of me, I really like some of the ice yarns, but some of the ice yarns are also the exact same yarns as other yarns that we can get in Europe, and therefore sometimes I need to think, can I get that as a different brand yarn, not just called it ice, from a European country? And then what is the cost? Because the cost might be a slightly bit more for the other yarn brand, but if I can get free shipping and I don't have to pay the added taxes, which I will get from Turkey because Turkey isn't European Union, then sometimes it's worth it buying different yarns rather than the ice. Not all of them. Ice also have some yarns that others don't have and so on. So it's like, it's probably been almost 2 years since I ordered from ice yarns last. That's a long time. I've been on a VIP finishing spree of late. We'll post some later. Awesome. Awesome. So what have I been working on? I've actually finished 2 projects, but I don't have them here, and we're not going to talk about them because I need something for my yarn talk on on Friday. But I have been working on, or I started working on, a new bucket hat, which is what I think we could work on while we wait to see which yarn you choose. So I started on it. It's not that I've gotten that far actually, because we just, I just got to the place where I'm now gonna change color. This is the top bit. And the yarns I am using is the Linda Hobby 88 cotton in these colors. So they are like summery fresh. I do not intend actually to use the white. So that is option 1. Option 2 is that I have to make a small belt. And that is for trousers for my mom actually. And I intend to use this a small skein from this online brand, line 164 Java. It's a little bit of a mess. It's the only skein I have, and I got this in a, let's call it a lucky bag, mystery box. And this is a, let's see, it's so online is a brand I've never worked with before. It's definitely spun. It's all black. And it is 67% cotton and it's 33% viscose, so it is soft. It's not very friendly to work with because it's so dark on screen. And it calls for 2.5 to 3 millimeter knitting needles. So I'm probably gonna be like 3.25 millimeter crochet hook was my first thought. And that's the perfect length. I got a copy of what I need to make, which is basically in an old worn out leather. And I need to make it slightly bit thinner because it's very thin where it needs to go through. But I think this is probably more like when I just have fun for myself. So I think I'm more keen to continue on this summery colored bucket hat, to be honest. That's just my first indication. That is the Krøllebølle bucket hat, actually, which is a hobby pattern. I do believe it's a paid pattern, but I am not 100% sure. Oh, I'm so tempted with all these Halloween yarns of hobby. And what can I say? Thank God that I live in Europe. Actually, last time I was home, I saw they had just changed the whole store outlet in the hobby, so it would be a great visit to do another time because now it looks different. But given the fact that I'm not so likely to come there that often anymore, hopefully, then I'm not sure it's gonna be anytime soon. Let's see, no, I need to find the pattern so I can just quickly link to it. For those that's curious, I do believe it's a plus pattern. The Krøllebølle, which is quite a Danish name, but it's also a Danish designer. I share first name with her. Let's see. Here we go. I am just gonna edit the description here in this video for you guys to have it. But I needed to find the pattern because I need to remember how we proceed from here. I am making the large because 2 reasons. I crochet tighter than average, and it will be kind of cool if I can somehow fit it. And I already did one in the Mauve colors, but I don't feel it turned out as great. So what I'm gonna do is for the granny stitch part of it, I am gonna hook down a bit in the size. Let's see if I can find what I wanted to find. We are trying at least. I haven't had time to block the ultimate sacrifice shawl yet either, I have to say that. But it will happen sooner rather than later. Let's see. There we go. Pattern saved, and I'm just gonna share the pattern in here as well. Oh, not that one, because that is definitely not gonna work because that was a local saved pattern I have. but a link to the pattern that I'm using is shared in chat. And Michael's across on the US decided to be extra mean and inform me that it's only 100 days until Christmas, so I have starting to work on Christmas gifts. It's true. I saw that message like, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And I was like, oh my goodness, is it already that close? Like, that's scary. Literally scary. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna pop over to the dual screen view, and I'm gonna pop you guys down. Let's see. I need to probably remove that one. Oh, that was too far. And we are. This is my lovely little Notion bag. Crocheted myself, lined it, and it just carries all my tools. All my tools for whichever I could imagine. So let's see. Crochet hooks. I used a 4.5, which I will use on the outer edge. The only question is if I am going 4 or 3.75. I have a feeling I should maybe consider 3.75, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe. We have some more votes incoming. Meanwhile, we have 4 votes currently. We have a yarn art flowers for the rust pink whites, and we have the yarn art flowers blue mauve, both 1 vote each, and 2 votes for the muffin mini luxe. Right now, the Stundy muffin mini luxe is definitely taking the lead. If you have joined this live afterwards and first seen the poll up top, please let me know and I will be happy to show the yarns again. You can also just quickly go through those yarns once more just before starting on the next part here. As I said, I'm to the part where I need to start at the granny squares or granny pattern, and that is also a color change. So maybe I should just first check that out and check the yarns out with you guys, just for funsies. This would be the first one. That would be the Rust 2 whites, pink whites. This is the yarn art flowers. This is the quite old one because it has really one of the old labels on here. So this is vintage. We have a newer yarn art flowers, which is the blues to kind of dark diluted pink. Guave. Also quite gorgeous, if you ask me. Then we have the Candy Royal from Pleta, which is 100% cotton. We go from this kind of like dark diluted-ish purple to a white here in the center. And we have the fancy Muffin Mini Luxe, which is gorgeous, right? And these purples, darker purple to lighter purple, and a silvery thread going through the whole cake. So that would be the options. If you haven't voted yet, do please cast your vote and help me decide which yarn I'm going to use for my next project. We will have the poll up for a bit, quite sure. Finish the first whip since we're working on now is the cardigan. I got cute buttons from my final hobby order. So what we are quickly gonna do is we are gonna share on the screen to see what's done. That is indeed gorgeous. I love those owls. Sweet. Finish the cardigan for the Yuanda Yarn Addict Make Along in Puzzle Colorway Seashore. It is gorgeous. I like this. They're cute buttons. Quite cute. Definitely. So let's see. I came from the summer hat. And I should probably take something to drink because I'm kind of thirsty. But I have finished all the other ones here. So it says blah blah, continue. Crochet 1 round of single crochet for every slip stitch, which is what I did. So that was the last bit. Continue by crocheting a round of granny stitches. Note there is no chains made between the double crochet groups. So what we're going to do here now is basically, the real question is, will I succeed carrying the yarns of 3 skeins? Or will I have to weave in the ends? That part is the only part I'm undecided about. And if I'm going to use a 3.75 or a 4mm hook. Choices. Yeah, Megan, they all definitely pretty. Susan says, looks super warm, snuggly, Revenant. Great work. This seems like people do like the puzzle yarns. I haven't experienced puzzle myself, unfortunately. Megan asked me what's my favorite bucket hat pattern. I have made quite a few of the Gaby bucket hats, and I think they turn out absolutely gorgeous. Let's see, that's actually also, they have it on Ravelry, I believe. That is a pattern that I've really enjoyed making. I don't remember what the intent was when I bought this, to be honest, if it was to make this or the other, but I think I ended up doing this because I think it was a great idea. So so let me just see if I can find Dani Mates is her name, actually. So let's see if I can find her pattern. She's named Dani Sharp on here in Ravelry. I'm just trying to see if I can find it here. She has quite a nice few designs, for sure. Let's see, did I probably did. I hate when this happens. Trying to find it, but we are not sharing plans right now, me and the Ravelry search. Name. She does have a lot of designs though. Should be before then. Here, it's because she has a different color on her Ravelry than there is on the other pattern. But I found it, so I'll share it. This is one of the bucket hats I've really been enjoyed making. For some reason, this is not the pattern I'm choosing for today. Yeah, I saw the kelp bucket hats, and I was highly debating if I should make one too. I just didn't get around it. That would probably have been really nice for these colors, though. I just don't want to I don't want to frog this. Let's go for the 4. I don't want to frog it, so therefore that is probably the reason that I'm not doing it. But yeah, that was actually a good idea as well. I got the yarn before she made that pattern though, and I think a skein of each would have probably been enough to even make it. But yeah, she has some really nice one. I've tried making granny square bucket hats, like granny bucket hats, and personally, I don't seem to be very. I don't know. It's not turning out the way I want exactly. The other colors I'm using for this bucket hat. So this color is the color named Shawl, which is dye lot 40. Again, it's all the Cotton 88 from Linda Hobby. So the colorway Shawl is this gorgeous, and it's actually a lot more yellow, sun yellow than it shows here on the camera. I have to say it looks a little bit better on my iPad than it does on my computer screen, but it is a little bit more fresh yellow. And then I have this more diluted yellow, like this is like a light pastel yellow. It's a colorway 37, Canarino. So here you would have the color differences. So that is the one I've intended on adding. And then I have a very light yellow, which is the colorway, oh my goodness, 21, and it's named Latte. I think this could be gorgeous as well, by the way, for the kilt bucket hat. But I'm not going to make that one. I think I may have some different yarns I could try and make it in. Or I will have to keep my eyes out because I think this is actually sold out. Or no, this one is. So for a new yarn haul, maybe in the future, I guess. But yeah, it's. I think it looks really nice, to be honest. Susan's making a 9-inch solid color basic grinding squares for the nation blanket. That is quite some work still. Did anyone else snag a kilt project bag before they sold out? Nope, I did not because I wasn't. So the thing is, when she had her sale is the day I traveled home, and we actually went out eating before driving completely home. So it was almost dinner time when we reached the city of Nijmegen after my partner had picked me up at the airport. And we're like, okay, what's up? What are we gonna eat for dinner? We're probably gonna do some takeaway because I'm definitely not gonna cook dinner. We have nothing in the house, and I'm not gonna do the groceries before after I've had some food. And he was like, "Oh, let's go eat some Greek." So we went to a Greek restaurant in the city of Nijmegen. And before we had our dinner and everything, it's probably been like dinner time regardless, so it wasn't too bad. We went there early. So when I got home, the live was already big up and running. Plus, the bag will end up getting quite expensive for me due to the exact reason of it's not from the EU. So first of all, I will have to pay the bag's price. Then I'll pay. I think she runs a flat rate for shipping, so it's like $10 on top for shipping to the EU. Plus, I need to get import tax, which is flat rates, 18 euros, and then it's a 21% of whichever amount I paid on top. So it gets to be quite expensive. It's gonna be like more than double the price before it's kind of here. So both the fact that I wasn't around when she went live with them, which would have been awesome though, and the fact that, yeah, therefore, henceforth, it did not happen. So I need to let's see, that goes in there, so that is the stitch. But I need that with a different color. So the real question was, can I successfully work 3 strands? I should be able to, I guess. Susan's tote bag arrives on Friday. Awesome. You are some lucky mates. I am all jelly. I love it. It was a great, simple design without like being exquisite. Like, I just like the terminology kind of thing. It was a great idea. I have some ideas as well, to be honest, um, for merch, not necessarily my World of Crochet merch, but just generally crochet merch. Um, but yeah, I'm not really sure how and what, so that is just gonna stick in my mind for now. You're very welcome, Megan. Megan says the bucket hat I linked is so pretty. Thank you. Revenant said it sold out in something like 80 seconds. Yeah, it was like less than 2 minutes. I had to ask at some stage later in the stream because I joined later. I joined like I think 40 minutes in. And she even did like a pre-order. So go her. Definitely go her. Let's see if I can actually do this. So would this be? This is actually a stitch. Ta-ta. No, this seems so wrong. But maybe it's not too bad. Just feels wrong. Because I didn't like really pull through, did I? But no, I know why. Gee, I need to do granny squares, not like single crochets. It's just because I did so many single crochets before. And this is actually need to chain 3, and I am the type that actually prefers to stack them. So what I need to do is I need to make a little end. She did a really great design. I really, really like it. So it's extremely, she's a very, very successful young lady. I can really appreciate what she's done for the community. And exactly, you like what Susan says, she designed a very versatile and everyone can use it. So it doesn't matter if you're a crocheter or if you're a knitter. It speaks to everyone as long as they are, even I think, even if you do tufting or something like that, because that's also yarn fiber related, right? So you don't necessarily need to do something that is related to one specific, if that makes sense. That wasn't the one I wanted. And then we'll pull a little bit on this one. Then the real question is, what will I do? Except I'll stack the single crochets, but will I attempt carry the yarn is the big question. Because if I would, I should have partially went up with it, I think. I may end up just weaving in ends. I may end up weaving in ends in this one. My goodness, let's see. I need a little bit lighter. I'm not the one to buy YouTuber merch, but her tote is not specific to her brand unless you know. Exactly. And that is why it's really nice. It's a clever design. Definitely a clever design. Let's see where it says. Ta-ta. Chain 3 and work 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Done. Skip 2 stitches, 3 double crochets in the next, etc. until you are completely round. Oh, that should be simple enough, right? So, and there is no chains between, so it's basically skip 2, work in 3 double crochets. Then, my friends, then that is what we will do. And then once in a while, we'll take a little look at the poll we have running. Because as I said, especially if you're late to the game, and if you do want to see what yarns you can choose between, feel free to ask me to show them again. I will be more than happy to do so. And else, I will just dazzle around this one, and then I will give it a new check. We do have some more votes coming in. We are on 7 votes right now. So far, still, it's the 7 Muffin Mini Lux that seems to be the favorite. But the yarn art flowers do have some votes as well. But yeah, I like having you guys giving the ability to help choose the color. Then afterwards, we need to figure out which of the projects we want to do. I think though with this mini lux, there's plenty of options as to what pattern I could end up choosing. So that is a win-win for that. 1, 2, and in the third we'll work in another 3 double crochets. Because that will highly also depend on what patterns do I actually have yet, which I've not made. So I would like to, as I said, I'd like to do another Red Teapot Atelier shawl. But I will first need to check which patterns I have before we can make a decision on the shawl. And it has to be one I haven't made yet. And there's definitely a few of those as well, so there are options. I'm just gonna get some more yarn out. So yeah, will I succeed carrying the yarn? That would be nice if I did actually, wouldn't it? It's inside, so it's not too bad. Has anyone ever made any expression fiber arts patterns? She has many pretty crochet knit ones that she gives away weekly for free. I will have to say no. Not to my knowledge. I would definitely, probably not mind making one at some stage. Hanjang Crochets has also some really gorgeous patterns that I'd like to make. It's just time. What I think about Red Teapot's new design. So that will be the mosaic. I think it's a blanket she made. It's pretty. In the cut bucket hat, she carries long floats of the 3 colors in her hat. Yeah, it's not too long yet, so I can still like squeeze it in when we get there, I think. But if I should have done it, then I should already have semi-added it to that up. I'll figure it out. I've done a few where I carry the yarn, and I've done a few where I haven't. I'd be really happy not having to weave in so many ends. I'll be completely honest about that. Does anyone else have to look up how to do foundation stitches every time they're starting a project? Depends on the type of foundation, like foundation chain, which is basically what I was thinking about doing for the belt. I was just thinking about doing a foundation of double crochets to do that. That was my initial thought. I think that could work up nicely. If it's been a long time since I've done a specific stitch, I sometimes need to look them up. But yeah. Also, I'm generally good, I think. 1, 2. I just need to think. Pick the best approach. I totally agree actually with Revenant. I don't remember if there's any projects where I've done a single foundation chain, so to say. I've done the double crochet foundation chain, and I very much prefer how those look compared to making a chain and then working in the double crochets. Also, when I do it like that, when I make the first a regular chain to start off with, I feel the gaps are bigger. It's less nice. I think making a foundation chain is far neater. Like the edge is far neater as well. Less of the gaps. Not less worried for being a tighter crocheter. Though that said, when you do those foundation chains, do make sure when you pull up those yarns on the side that you do pull up a little bit extra, or it will get a tendency of slanting. At least that is my experience. But I've done quite a few projects where I've just done the foundation chain is like a double crochet foundation chain. The amount of projects I've had where they were like chain X, then working extra the same amount of double crochets into that, and I'm like, why would I do that when I can make a chain foundation, like a double crochet foundation? It just feels easier to work with somehow. But maybe it's, I don't know if it's a personal thing. Probably it is. I think these colors could actually also work really great with that kelp bucket hat. Yep, they could. I also finished my knit beanie. And my experience is that I think what I really are challenged with sometimes are these roving style yarns, not plied. I think those are the yarns that might challenge me a bit. Because when I was closing off this one, I was also fiddling a little bit. And I think that was because the yarn wanted to split when I was closing off. But further than that, it looks good. You will see it on Friday, my friends. One, two, and one more. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm slightly tired today. Anyhow, I also I had a meeting last week with my team lead for my work, and And while she couldn't exactly give me good news, she did give me some compliments, which is great. The reason for this is the fact that in the end of November, right now, my contract is expiring. So on the 30th of November, I will no longer have a job unless they choose to extend my contract. And they will come with a decision on that in October. But she was really happy with the work I've done over the summer while my other colleagues were on maternity leave. And the reality is that they will have to choose between either my other colleague or me who will stay, because my other colleague's contract will expire in, I believe it's in January. So they will need to make a choice, I think, because with the responsibilities we have, I do not believe there is enough work to suffice us both, basically. There might have been if she came back and would work less hours, but she came back and said she still wanted to do her 24 hours, which she had before she went on maternity leave. In the beginning, it was just going, she was decreasing, and then maybe that would have been fine. And now she's coming back and wanting them to do them full. So now the real question is probably going to be who of us will be staying. And I will be honest and say I really enjoy this job. If you would like to send the employment gods a few kind wishes and prayers, then please do so for me here for the coming, let's say, 2 months or so, because then I should definitely know in 2 months' time if I will have my job onwards after the end of November. 2, 3. If not, I'll definitely have a lot of time to crochet, I guess. Susan, we are actually getting pretty close on regarding my shop. It is really getting close. I'm not quite there yet. But I actually hope, if everything goes well, sometime this month. It depends. There's a few things I still need to do. I need to do some testing to see if I understand the concept well enough, and finalize some fancy things, and then that's pretty much it. There is still a bunch of things I will need to get blocked because I still have some shawls that I want to get up there, and so on. And honestly, I will just add those runningly because it's better than just to get it up and running. And then I don't know if people are interested in me to like do follow-ups on how it's going and so on. Some people like that, other people don't. It kind of depends on why you are here. Are you just here because of the social hangout, or are you here for a financial aspect, or are you here for patterns, helps, tips, and tricks? Or are you just here for the few times I've done those gorgeous yarn hauls? You know, there's many reasons for why people have joined this channel. Some joined back in the days because I did some giveaways and they hoped to win some yarns. Some stayed. Some got me recommended by friends. Revenant shared his next finished object. It's massive Halloween blanket. So it's about 1.8 meters across. So what I will have to do is again pop over here. It's loading. Ta-ta! Witch Brew Sparkle Yarn. You were working on this. That was where you had to frog a couple of rounds. Whew. It's a nice size though. And I am definitely a blanket fan these days with this weather, because this is when I feel that I am getting to be an old grumpy woman, which I'm probably not compared to some others, but I don't mind considering myself that because, you know, I just don't do seasonal changes very well. So I should actually now get into this. But here I should pick up the next color. So now I need to think for a minute. Give me a minute. A hot minute, please. We should have had this one up as well, but it's not that far behind, so that might work out. My goodness. My goodness. I need just to keep track of my live chat. This blanket is very cozy. The pattern makes a very dense fabric. The back side is flat and the front side has a ton of texture from the first post trebles. Nice. Yeah, it's a little bit like a ripped because of the post trebles. So it's a little bit ripped texture from post trebles. Coolio. Okay, now the challenge comes. Please don't laugh of me. That's a fun thing, you know, with doing these lives. You'll never know. Oh, so actually, wait a minute. I need to... They do say something. I need to remember this. Da-da-da. Good. It says here, repeat from until you have crocheted a total of 29 double crochet. Skip 3. Join the round with a slip stitch in third bow. Fasten off. So basically, they will fasten off and change colors for every. So my goal is to carry. Okay. Join the cream last around the same space. Now crochet. It's like when you work them up, you actually crochet them in the back end. So I should, by logic means, pull this yarn. And this yarn. And then behind here, I need to oh my goodness, this is a fiddly. Good. And then, oh, because I do my stacked singles, I want to go in here. And we need to carry this one. And if I do this well enough, and this one, can we do this? We should be able to. Now I just need to keep track of all my lines here. Good. So we'll pull a little bit in this, and we definitely need to pull in this one. Need to pull a little bit in this one. Oh my goodness. And then, my friends, you stay back. And hopefully I'll succeed. I definitely need... Oh, there's still a stitch marker down there. I could abuse you. Hello, good morning, oddballs. We are picking yarn balls for a shawl that is yet to be unnamed, but I can tell you so much. The plan is it's gonna be a red teapot design. I just do not yet know which of her many gorgeous designs it's gonna be yet. But I can enlighten so much to say it is going to be a design that I already own, which I have yet not made. We are going to base that on so stitch marker. We're going to base that on what yarn it's going to pick. So basically, depending on the yarn you pick, we will pick the pattern afterwards. We will like look at the yarn and say this pattern then fits the yarn. So first we pick the yarn pure based on our selfish wishes, which yarn we like best. And since you had just joined recently, I am going to show you the yarn options. So people can also still change the votes if they want to. And this would be the first option. And this option is the rusty to white, pink whites. It's the yarn art. As we talked about earlier, it's a vintage one because this has a really old label on it. They're all 1,000 meters, so 1,093 yards. The weight difference is slightly different because the Royal Candy is a bit heavier. This is 55% cotton, 45% acrylic, lovely soft. And it's the colorway 288. And as I said, it is the vintage label here from the Yarn Art Flowers. Then I have a newer Yarn Art Flowers cake, which is this gorgeous friend. That is another option. Same yarn specs breakdown. As you can see, this is a newer label, so less vintage. I don't remember if I got these two cakes in the same order and I was just, the other has a more vintage labeled. This is the colorway 273 for those curious. Then we have the Stanley Candy Royal, which is this, and it's like it's kind of like pink towards maroon or aubergine, not pink, purple, sorry, purple towards aubergine, and it goes into these like dusted purples until it gets to be a white in the center. They are a little bit pink here. So that is the Candy Royal. The Candy Royal, I got this when they just launched them about a bit more than a year ago, like 14, 15 months ago. Back then, I think they had like, I don't know, 6, 7 different colors, and I got maybe 5 of them. Compared to the regular Stanley Candy, these have more color transitions, so it's a smoother transition throughout the whole cake. And they also longer. I believe the regular cotton is just, or the regular candy is like 800 meters, and this is 1,000. So that's the difference here. And then we have the Muffin Mini Locks in this gorgeous pinks, purples to light purplish pink with a silver thread going through. And yeah, which pattern we are going to make, I don't know yet, but we are going to do a red teapot atelier shawl design. Make your choices if you haven't yet. But great to see you, Lisa. I hope your recovery of your eyes is still going great forwards. You after the eye surgery. I know I'm not making the Gabi. I'm making the Krøllebølle. The Gabi bucket hat is a bucket hat I've made a lot in the past, and maybe when I look at the yarns I bought here, maybe that was my idea when I bought this yarn. But I ended up selecting for this pattern. Don't ask me why. And we discussed that these colors were probably also gorgeous for the kelp bucket hat. Kelsey's new from Passionate. Passionate Kelsey's new design, which is also quite gorgeous bucket hat, if you ask me. That could definitely have been an option too, but I actually didn't even consider that when I started on this one. But I do have some other cotton yarns laying up in my stash, so I could probably make one day. Definitely an option. And I feel these colors would work well as well with the kelp bucket hat. And if I would do so, I would definitely need to order some more yarn because I don't think I would have enough to finish it up afterwards. Yeah, I guess I'll be dreaming on that. Always a good reason to order more yarn. I just don't have room to keep ordering. So first, we will need to sell out some of my makes from my stash. Wouldn't that be a great start? And then we can work on adding more yarn. I did recently make an order, but I really try to not order too much yarn because, yeah, for good reasons. Space is a thing. Space issues. Or I just need to start selling out of some of my yarns. That is an option. My recovery is pretty much over, just a touch of inflammation yet, but I got approved to start the process for my neck surgery. That is great news. No, it was because Megan asked me what my favorite bucket hat was, and the favorite bucket hat for me recently is probably the Gabi bucket hat. I think it's a great design. I do actually on my own have a little idea for a bucket hat in mind, which I may at some stage also try to create. And if I'll do, I might actually consider going the digital route and sell that. So both make a tutorial for it and then maybe also make a written pattern. Because I can tell you one thing, maybe the US are struggling with the de minimis, but digital goods such as a pattern is not included for that. I did link both hats, yes. One hat I posted in the chat, which was the one Megan asked for, and I only linked the chat that I'm currently working on in the description of this live. Oddball says here, or Lisa, but with our health system here, I don't even start testing for that till January. Oh yeah, patience thing. So, as said, so on the 6th of October, I'll be in Denmark because I will be driving my mom to her final PET scan to see if, and hopefully, that she will have her final PET scan, and then we hope we get good news. Should she get good news, then she will go down to a checkup every 3 months in the beginning. And that is, of course, what we hope. And if it's not so good news, then the doctors will need to think about what other treatment options there could be. So, yeah, we are really praying that her body is pulling through here after all the chemotherapy. So that's been a rough thing. So that is my reason for going there in October. Susan says, no, don't order yarn, use up stash. Yes, I am trying to use up stash. This is why I've been proud that I didn't buy recently, because I did buy some. That is a small lie. I did actually buy some for a good reason, so that's okay. As I said, last week there was this yarn haul because I had to get the yarns for the project I was working on where I was missing yarn. So some of them are good reason hauls, and based on that, it's okay. But I'm trying not just to order random yarn. And I'm still curious if I'll end up finishing off having used up more than I've obtained. I'm slightly in doubt, but we will see. It could be that I'll end up surprising myself positively. Hello, Amanda! Good afternoon to you, my lady. Hope you're doing well. And I think the conclusion after I finish this bucket hat, if it still has this tendency of doing a little bit funny in the granny bit, then it's just not a hat for me. It looks gorgeous, but I'm not. I'm just not the crochet of this type. I'm giving it a go. So henceforth, we are working on it. But yeah, I do really have a few designs that I want to try out making, and maybe digital patterns could be an alley to go down through. Do, do, do. Anyhow, after this, we're gonna do another of these darker yellows. Steen is on a bucket hat bench. I'm on a sock bench, Lisa says. Yeah, well, also been on a shawl bench. I'm on a bench of whatever. This yarn, I'd really love to, it's soft. I think it's nice soft cotton. So I'm also keen to try to make wearables of this one day. Like tops or something like that. But it's just, I have this idea that I want to, hopefully, if I want to make them for myself at least, that I should lose a bit of weight first. Because I would really hate having made something and then it's too big. That would be, for crying out loud, not fun. So that is next year, I think, for the tops, because it gives me time. And I have been active at the fitness center, so I've been a good girl. Of course, not when I've been in Denmark, but when I've been here, I've been active. If my partner isn't coming too late home tonight, then I may also go there tonight. It depends a little bit. And the reason for that is because they have like a company outing. So, no, this kinda did funky. But yeah, I guess I'm a hat person. I like making hats. I've enjoyed knitting some hats too. I do have one which is like, I'm considering, like, if you ever wrote chain yarn when you're knitting, can you carry the yarn reasonably without issues. Amanda says she's hoping everybody is doing okay today, which I definitely hope as well. Susan says there are young creators making content about yarn stashes and psychoanalysis of it. Great information for artists and crafters. Psychoanalysis, oh my goodness. I'm afraid mine will come down to I'm a hoarder. Because I do admittedly, and validly so, have a really difficult time relinquishing my stash. But the fun thing is, once I've worked with the yarn, I'm absolutely fine letting the projects move on to a new owner. There's just a subconscious fear of not having enough. Mm. And a part of the hoarders aspect is also I like having one of each, which is totally ridiculous because you can't keep having one of each. You just eventually you need to use it. And I do enjoy using it, so that's positive. So it's not because I don't use it, but I looked at some cakes when I was picking out these and I was like, maybe I could. And then and reality is just why, like, I have two of them, yeah, but I could also make a bigger project, so maybe I should just not pick this one yet. And then I let it stay in the stash, which I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what project yet, so it doesn't really matter. Just if it speaks to you, take it. Lisa is currently on her 7th pair of knitted socks in 6 weeks. That is definitely quite some nice. And I want to make at least 4 more for the Christmas gifts. Sweet. So now I need to think for a minute. I need to get this yarn, which is this one. Ta-ta-ta. And we will have a look at the votes or the polls in a minute. Actually, in 2 minutes, because I did not get all of the full stitch here. Oh my goodness, I did pull it a bit tight. This is the yarn that I will need. So that is the yarn we will pull. If it allows me. Come on. Oh my goodness, I made this too tight. There we go. Now I just need to keep track of all of my balls of yarn. But that would be the right color. So I'm just stitch marking it for a hot minute here before I'm gonna continue. So far it looks good. Susan says knit colorwork carries many colors as floats inside the project. Yeah, I'm thinking actually of a regular rib knit beanie with 2 different strands of yarn, but used separately. So that's a question if I can just switch between the rows. Because there will be, I don't think there will be an invisible lining, will there? Probably not. I'm thinking about it. Maybe it's not as bad as I think once I'm trying. I finally picked up my spinning wheel. I needed some minor repairs, so it's now waiting for my dad. Okay, that's nice that he's helping out with that. Okay, so we have 10 votes currently for the cake. And there is most votes for the Stanley Muffin Mini Lux in the purple colors. The Stanley Cotton Candy Royal is not exactly pulling any votes. Then the Yarn Art Flowers Blue to Mauve colors is getting more votes than the Rusty to Pink. So we are just lining up shortly a little bit of the options here. I don't think if it's possible actually to have them all in screen. Well, it is sort of. Sort of. We could do it like, or we could do it like this. Ta-ta. No, here. So, yarn arts, rusty to pink white, navy blue to mauve. We have the candy here, not attracting many votes. And then we have the mini locks here, which seems to be the favorite of everyone today. And that makes me all like itchy. I wanna get more Stindy cakes. Like, please. Is it so wrong? They have sale on the Stanley's merino cakes, which I'm like, yes, please. But I'm not getting any because I'm a good girl. But I have been really tempted. I'll be very honest on that account. Like, let's pop over. Just window shopping. If that helps me not buy, that's fine. Look, there's 20% discount right on the merino cakes. And I have that red one I have up in my stash. I also, yes, I'm aware. I also have this one in my stash. And I have this one in my stash. So I do have a few. But I'd love to add this green one to my stash and the blue one. And actually, I'd love to add a few more of these. This is gorgeous too. Or this one, black to oranges to whites. Waterfalls, this is cute too. See, this is my issue. And this is amazing. So this is kind of why it's dangerous to visit the Stanley side. Oh, not too keen on that. Strawberry Moon, this could be okay. But the green one and the blue one, I'd definitely love to have in this edition. And the Sunflower Noon, this one would be nice too. Yeah, they're 20% off on these merino cakes, I know. Look, they're just 15 euros right now. I want. I think I have 3 or 4 of them in my stash. It could be it's just 3, and then the others I have might be the panna cotta, which is quite similar breakdown. It's very dangerous. It is. This is kind of nice too, actually. Or this one. My goodness. Blue-haired fairy. Not too hooked. Then I'd rather have this one. This one I think is nice. This one. It's looking nice. Except the screen photo is not easy to see. But that one is looking nice. Yeah. That was a dangerous visit for sure. What we should do is I wanted to check if they have any new muffin mini locks. I'm tempted to check. I'm not getting any. Here we have the royal actually. I have a few of those. Let's just pop up a window with them for afterwards. I have quite a few of these Stanley cakes. And I know there has been people buying Stanley yarn after they have seen my hauls. This is the mini locks. Do they still sell these? Purple ones? They do. Here it is. That is the mini locks I have laying waiting for you guys. This one this one or a similar one I should have in my stash. It is a blue one. It is, or is it this one? I don't remember anymore. One of the two. I also have this one in my stash, but it's kind of kept do not touch yet. This one is the one I used for the pure tea shawl. So I've already made red tea pâtisserie shawls in the muffin mini locks. This one I also have in my stash, and I think that's pretty much it from these. Love to add this one to my stash. And this one. I will need to add a new one of these, I guess, sort of. This one is actually looking quite nice, so I'd like to add this one. And I think this one looks cute too. My goodness. It's a dangerous path. This is also kind of nice. I have one of these, but without the locks. Whew. Let's see, royal. This is the color I have. And I also have definitely, I do believe it's dark blue, the petroleum blue, the dark purple, and the suclame pink. I believe it's those I have. Others have first been added later. Or no, or is it a green one I have? No, it's not. I want a green one. I want to add this one. But yeah. We are all dreaming. Wouldn't it be nice to get new yarns? Just because. It would, but I am not buying yarns. I am not buying yarns. We have more votes placed, and my goodness, we have the first one on the Candy Royal. Sweetie sweet. The merino cakes are so nice. Yes. You're very welcome, Megan. Or should I say, I am very sorry that I enabled you? I don't know which is the more correct. Regardless, either you're very welcome, it was my pleasure, or I am very sorry that I enabled you. And I'm right now very tempted to get a badge. But I have made the agreement with myself that I have a yarn haul coming in because it's needed for some of the other things I have. But generally speaking, I have the agreement that now I will not buy any more yarn until I know whether I keep my job or not. Boom. And if I keep it, amazing, I can give myself a little Christmas present and or Black Friday present or whatever. And if I don't keep my job, then I will only be allowed to buy yarn if I either sell my makes or whatever, like, you know, does something that warrants it. Yeah. So what I need to do now is I need to we pulled this yarn, awesome. And then now we need to go in and grab, but before we can grab this, we need to carry 2 strands of yarn. We'll do that by laying them over there. Then we'll pull this one through, and then they kind of go out on the back, and then I need to figure out where my yarn is. So, yay! Way to go, me. And then the next challenge is, before I continue, I should probably insert a stitch marker before I pull this way too tight. Ah. Lisa put herself on a fairly strict yarn diet. I went to a fiber festival last weekend and only bought 1 hank of yarn, but I got 3 fibers for spinning and a couple of project bags. So you still bought yarn related stuff, just not all yarns. Fair enough. Fair enough. I do have the feeling when I carry this many yarns that it does want to thicken up slightly, but it's not too bad. And Megan says no need to apologize because she loves the Stindy yarns. Well, they are nice yarns for sure. And I have to say that I am really keen on getting more of them. But reality is also a little bit. I really should not get any until my stash has diminished a little bit. I do have some of them, which I'm not sure if and when I'll use, and I've been considering if I should sell some of those yarns off. I also have some yarns which I have actually considered giving away as a present, because personally my family do felt, and these yarns will definitely felt because they're 100% wool. And I don't see myself making anything with the yarns, or I don't know what to make, let's put it like this. And they are likely to felt. So I thought it could be a really nice extra present. Plus, I got some yarns, which I do need for a present. Just a small present, but still. And yeah, they are coming in a yarn haul. That's all. But after that, I will again be on the yarn diet. For a bit. Or we'll have to. It's that simple. I got 100 grams of alpaca rowing for $18. Finished the yarn was around, the finish yarn was around 40, so I thought it was a good price. If you can spin the alpaca on your own, then yeah, you saved more than 50%. All right, so 50 some odd, 52, 54, maybe 55%. Then it's a good deal, definitely. Would be the exact same reason I would have to buy those absolutely gorgeous merino cakes. They have been screaming at me today, really have been screaming at me today, and I've been clicks away of filling them into my basket, but I have not gotten them, so I am proud of myself. There's also a few yarn cake creators in Germany that make custom cakes, which I've really been debating on getting some from as well, but I have not yet. Again, I am super proud of myself for not having done that. So, and I actually helped out one of them because she had a link issue, and she was like, hey, if you ever want to buy yarn from me, let me know and I'll give you a discount code. And I'm like, yes, please, but not right now. I'm on a yarn diet. So maybe I'll ask for it when I feel ready for it, but right now, nope. Maybe that's something we could do. Shop together on a live. That could be fun. That is, once I've diminished my stash a bit and have room. I think this looks gorgeous, actually. This is a nice look. And I can tell you, it looks much nicer and real. It looks so much nicer and real. And this isn't white. It's the latte. Megan says they're perfect for fall, a little warmer. Yeah, I was inching to actually pick one of those merino cakes as an option instead, but I didn't because I was like, Not yet. I don't want to use them just yet because they're kind of special to me. Which is actually in reality quite stupid because I can just buy new ones, right? Or can I can? Well, I should be able to buy new ones. So they're just waiting for me in the stash. Lisa says, my husband and I don't buy each other Christmas gifts, but he told me that I should get myself a gift this year, an electric spinning wheel. Ah. But so you got a spinning wheel, but that's not electric. So he tells you to get an additional electric one. Do I understand this correctly? My partner doesn't tell me to get yarn or anything like that. I think he thinks I have more than enough, which is kind of true. It looks like the Stunny Muffin in purple colors are losing some votes, not completely. We are still at 11 votes. There is a favoritism still towards the mini locks. Following in the route is the Yana Flowers Blue Mauve colors, and then we have the Stanley Candy Royal Purple to White, plus the Rust to Pink White, and the Yana are tied at the very bottom. Correct. Sweet. I think you have a good husband. Mine haven't said get me anything. Nope. Get yourself something. Nope. 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 He just thinks I'm a maniac. No, I guess good way. He's not going to be using the items much either. That said, as I said, I do have some stash budget ideas, and that is probably going to include a lot of multiple stranded beanies, I think. Revenant says, my partner is supportive of my yarn hoarding tendencies, but I bribe her with things like shawls, blankets, and that cardigan. Revenant, I think my partner would be supporting of my hoarding tendencies as well if he used blankets, cardigans, and shawls and the like, but he doesn't. Mm-mm. The blanket, maybe. He's probably maybe a little bit supportive once I've finished my fleur, the mosaic blanket I'm working on. Which, by the way, with this weather, it's getting brilliant time to work on that. Ta-ta. But I'm not, because there is simply not enough space around me when I'm streaming to do it. It's not gonna be a fun progress to do. And also, if I make a mistake on it, I will have a absolutely horrendous time having to frog it because of the size of it now. So I'd like for it I just need to do that when I do that. That will be the short version of it. Lisa says he's thankful that I have a hobby that is useful, let me be creative, and so happy that he has kept me sane during my illness. I don't think my husband, or well, I wouldn't call him my husband because we aren't married, but I don't think my partner dislikes what I'm doing. He's just, I guess he just doesn't get it. And he's not using it either, but I'm kind of just happy when he can see what I've made. And yeah, I think that's the best explanation I have. He's also not this old-fashioned style person. Like if I look at my mom's side of the family, that's probably where the genetics part come in. We are all like crafty people, and we are all appreciative of what we have. And I do have a few things in my stash that I was like thinking of I could use this for presents. which I might actually do because we are going to Denmark this year for Christmas. So that is a positive thing. To do. So yeah, for my Denmark travels, there are 3 more travels to Denmark this year, before the New Year's. One in the beginning of October, one a little bit later, like probably like 5 weeks later or so in November. And then there is of course Christmas in December, and that's gonna be, we'll be going there for Christmas, and for a few days around. And the 2 first times I'll be going there with a flight, and then I need to do some plans for the new year, but I'm not sure when that will be. But that is also so far in the future. I don't need to book any flights or travels yet. It kind of depends on what else happens and gets on my plate, and definitely also depends on the financial aspect of life. Will I have a job in January or not? Actually, in December would be the beginning. So yeah, we are chipping along on this bucket hat. We've done the first 3 rows of granny stitches, or granny clusters. There are no chains between the 3 double crochets in each space, and they are gorgeous. Now we need the light yellow. And I need to keep track of all my yarn. This has to be on that side. Oh my goodness, the votes are still changing, or we are having more votes being added. For those that's joined late, I can show you quickly what options we have. We have the Stanley Muffin Mini Locks still having a solid lead. But I will just ensure that we are ready for this change. Oh my goodness, it's always so tight when I do these. Bad habit of mine. But it's because I want to make sure that they are nicely closed. So I'll just, because we have finished another row, so we'll just re-go through the yarns. Meanwhile, it's a great idea. I think these colors are gorgeous together. And I really regret now not making it with the Gabi bucket hat style. Oh well. We have, let's take the ones behind first on votes. Those behind would be these 2. These are having the fewest votes. This is the Yarnart Flowers in the vintage label. This rusty red to oranges to pinkish white. And we have this diluted purple of the Candy Royal that goes into lighter purples, pinks, and then white. Almost, it's not completely mauve, but a little bit mauve-like colors. It's more like dusty pink. Eggplant, maybe, almost. Those are behind. Then we have the runner-up right now, which would be this gorgeous. Again, Yarnart Flowers in those blues to mauve. That is our current runner-up. And then the current yarn in the lead is the Stanley Muffin Mini Locks. from the darker purples to pinks. If I'll do this, I may have to, this time I'll probably option to work from the outside to the center. Definitely makes it more travel friendly. Where last time I worked from the center pole, and eventually that kind of collapsed on me, and that was a mess to untangle. So this time I will definitely try to see how I find it working with it when I work from the dark end and then let it go lighter and lighter, is my thoughts at least. So far, Mini Lux is still winning, but the yarn art flowers are trying their best to catch up, and the Candy Royal is not really a favorite of yours. That is my conclusion so far. Oh my goodness. We are going into the light purple, was this a Canario colorway? Canario. I just need to grab this one. We'll tighten up this one a bit, and then I just need to figure out. So that's a challenge when, of course, when you work with all these strands, they kind of semi-tangle a little bit. Maybe there's a better way of doing this, but I haven't figured it out yet, if that's the case. We will have to carry this one. We'll have to carry this one. There's a slightly showing of carrying on the inside, but who cares? Who cares? Sorry for my very absolutely horrendous humor. Oh no. Yes. And before we do the cross pull, we need to have the yarns that we carry up there. And we'll flip those back. And make 2 more double crochets. Last time I actually very Slavic followed the pattern. And what does this mean? That means that every row I cut the yarn and sewed in ends, and well, basically like that. This time is the first time I'm physically attempting to carry these yarns. So far, except for the extra puzzle time of me trying to untangle my yarns, I think I'm gonna be happy about it, because I'm not a fan of sewing in ends, weaving in tails. It's just a thing that needs to be done. I like the end project of it. Ronald is currently making a matching scarf, and that is ready to his final finished object. A hat that's going to be the first Christmas gift. It's going to your stepdaughter's boyfriend. As usual, we are gonna pop up and see what Revenant has made. Da, da, da. That would say that's Halloween color friendly. And hats are always good to have. In the big twist value. I don't have big twist here. Nada. None. Sills 0. Looks good. Intentional color choice or slightly stash busting, in the sense of you had some scraps you also want to use? Nothing wrong in either. It could also be a color wish, right? Sometimes we intentionally make specific colors. Like when I made unicorns 2 years ago, I intentionally made them in the colors I knew were their favorite colors. One had pink and one had light blue. and therefore I intentionally made the main tail either pink or light blue. I could actually make new ones, unicorns. I do have enough yarn to make either a full light blue or a full pink. What was pretty tedious about those unicorns was the mane and tail in the thinner yarn. When I was crocheting that was less pleasant of the process. So a matching scarf. Lisa's trying to get ahead of my Christmas makes this year. Have to finish the socks that I'm making, 4 more sets, and then a shawl. The shawl I'm kind of dreading though. Already decided on a pattern for this shawl or not. And the real question is, should we? So I can stay a little bit longer today, I think, on this live, unless something unexpected is happening. But doesn't seem like it. So I can stay a little bit longer. So the real question is, should we say the poll for the yarn that we're going to use is another 30 minutes, so at 16:30 my time. It would be 10:30 a.m. Eastern. And then we'll do another poll to decide the pattern. And that poll will end 5 minutes before this stream will end. Good plan. I like this. We have a plan. So if you do want to have any chance to influence what yarn I'm going to use for my next project, for my next shawl, you can go ahead and vote. Oh my goodness, I split the yarn. We need to redo that. I do see that there are some votes that's either added votes or changed hands. We have 13 votes right now. And we are still having the Muffin Mini Lux in the lead with a 46%. Hereafter, we have the Yarn Art Flowers Blue to Mauve colors of 31%, and the Yarn Art Rust to Pink White is a 15%. And the Stanley Candle Royal Purple to White is down at 8%, so that is probably the least likely. But it does indeed seem that the Stanley Muffin Mini Lux is going to be our shawl winner, unless something happens or anything changes, or anyone changes their decision for which I'm going to be using. Lisa says, I started the shawl already. It's the Sis Love triangle shawl, but I decided to torture myself and make it from the Ice Yarns Pure Silk. It's a lace weight. That sounds like potential torture, yes. Revenant says goodbye. He must be off, and he wishes us all a great day. Thank you so much, Revenant. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and for your vote. If you did vote in this poll, and if you didn't, just hurry up and do it before you leave. If everything goes well, I should be back live again Monday morning, and Wednesday next week. At least that's the plans right now, unless anything suddenly changes. Changes may always happen and can occur. But yeah, I'll have at least three more live sessions before my next trip to Denmark. Revenant voted for the Blue Mauve yarn. It is also a gorgeous cake, I have to say that. It's one of those that I would feel a need to replenish in my stash once used. I'll also be honest and say I have a few of those as well. Even the rusty ones is kind of nice. I did see some of those, the green autumn-ish colored ones, where I was like, yes. And I was like, no, 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 you already have a recent shawl made of that. And no, that's the reason I didn't. Plus, actually, I wanted to make a wearable of that for myself at some stage. It's also getting poncho season. Definitely shawl season. I already started, but it's a thinner shawl, which means that if it's just about going to be as cold next week, maybe it's a bit too soon. But in October, if it's like windy and cold like today, you'll start seeing my inline alpaca poncho again on myself wearing it because it's nice and warm. I'm actually not sure how many I need to do of these rows. Um, right now I'm just doing them because I need to do a few, obviously. But I really have the feeling this could have been really gorgeous for the other. So there are definitely thoughts in my mind to light quote buy this yarn once it's back in stock. It's definitely a possibility for that. Hmm. I also have some more brown colors that I had intended for this. And if this doesn't succeed, I may use those brown colors for a nice combo um, for the Gabi bucket hat that I linked a bit earlier this stream. Instead. Don't ask me why I enjoy making bucket hats. I guess it's a quicker make than some of the shawls. But yeah, I don't have a shawl currently on my hook, so that is another good reason why that we need to make a decision on a shawl. And people are popping in and giving their votes, and it's getting closer to a tie between the Muffin Mini Locks and the Yarnart Flowers Blue to Mauve. But we are running the poll another, let's say, 20 minutes. And then we are gonna look at shawl patterns to see which I have in my stash and haven't made yet. And then we will figure out which speaks best to the yarn. And we'll probably run another poll for that. Could be that I should start looking for those patterns first. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish this row and then I'm gonna do the row of latte. It's a cutaway latte. It looks white on the camera though. but it's not white. It, like, if I really show you it next to the white skein, you will see it's not white. Well, you should see it's not white. Then it's more like a cream yellow, at least. Yeah. This is white. This is the latte. That is definitely a bit more of a cream yellow. But they do work okay together. And I have some great ideas with these colors together for other projects. But time is a thing. But yeah, so I started this this bucket hat when I were in Denmark. But obviously I didn't finish it there. Oh, that's sort of semi-split there. Lisa says, I think you should make the Moroccan mint tea shawl. Well, I haven't made the Moroccan mint tea shawl yet, so it could be an option. But the reason you're laughing is I have a very, very bad suspicion it has a bunch of puff stitches. Ah, my goodness. Well, yeah. So that would be my least favorite. But of course, if that is what the votes of the poll says, then that is what I'll end up making, I guess. But as I said, if you do want to change the results of the poll and you have a different yarn that you would see me make from rather than the Muffin Mini Luxe, now it's the time to get those votes in. Because we are getting closer to the end. And what is happening is that I am, first of all, trying to catch up on where my latte is. It's here. And then I will make one row of latte. And then once this row is finished, that is, I think, when we are going to look at the patterns I have, which I haven't made yet. So my requirement for the pattern that we choose is following. Red teapot atelier design. I may not already have crafted the pattern, so I haven't made one shawl already from that pattern. And it has to be a pattern I have in my stash or is free. In other words, that is the requirements, or the current requirements, I should say. Okay, so we are prepping a carry, except I forgot to insert my hook here first. Like that. That will be carried up a little bit. Oh, no. Tap yarn split. Oh, saved. Oh, that stitch marker disappeared. Then it's good we have another. I don't know what, I have some stitch markers here. I don't know where I got them from, but they're like kind of thick. They're not as neat as some of my other stitch markers. So I don't know if that was like some bonus free stitch markers I got somewhere. And them being a bit thicker material makes them a little bit chunkier to work with, if that makes sense. Anyhow, that was another 2. Oh, and we are loose to go on. So I'll make another row. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows in total. I don't actually know how many I need to do, which I said earlier actually. I should know that. I should count from my previous. Or just keep it simple. I'll just keep doing it until I think the size fits. It's not super important. As long as it fits. But it's more than 5. But as I said, once I'm done with this row of granny stitches, then we are going to close for the pull. That's a little bit earlier than first anticipated. Or we can let the pull run until indeed the time, but we are going to start look at the shawl patterns that I have in my stash from her. I've made it twice, but I don't hate puffs as much as you. I don't think I'd like to do puff stitches with the muffin mini locks due to the nature of the yarn, that it being multiple stranded. But the benefit is, of course, it's not high summer, so maybe it's not too bad. Because last time in the high summer, the lurex tended to snag a little bit on my fingers because my hands were getting warm. Yeah. So it might not be too bad here now because it's autumn. And I'll probably first start on it, I don't know, this weekend or this week. Maybe Monday's live. That is undecided. Lisa says I did a lap sagging with the regular muffin. It wasn't too bad, but I didn't have the lurex to deal with. Yeah, that's the lurex is what snags on me if I have warm hands. And I feel actually right now I have warm hands, which I did not have a couple of hours ago. Maybe the weather has warmed up a little bit, but also I am drinking tea. I am warmly packed up and wrapped up because I have a slight fear of freezing. Well, I don't do well when I'm cold. I think that's so. Overall, fundamentally seen, I'd rather have it too warm than I will have it too cold. Because when I have it cold and I start like tensing up in the muscles because I'm cold, my muscles will ache extremely badly the following day. And that is when I can feel I have an autoimmune disease. Normally it's not too bad. But yeah, so I do have a few options for patterns. Most of my patterns I got from back when we had a Hobby Plus membership. But Hobby does no longer have Hobby Plus as a membership as it used to have. Which totally sucks, by the way. I felt it was good value. Because of all the patterns I could download for, well, three free patterns a month, which is normally paid patterns, which is how I got most of my Red Teapot Atelier designs. That said, of course, if there's a design I like, I am willing to pay for it. Also, She is making a gorgeous new shawl, I noticed. But it will have to wait. I'm not sure if she released it yet. But we are gonna probably find her on Ravelry, I think. Not that I have my patterns on Ravelry, but I do have a really good idea of which I have in my stash. I'll tell you guys something funny. Well, funny or funny. I was looking at flight tickets yesterday just for the fun of it, because we have often talked about wanting to go to the US, me and my partner. And these days, they apparently have this offer that I can fly to New York for just 500 euros for a return ticket. Like, that's a crazy cheap. And why did we start talking about that? I think it already kind of started Sunday, because we were watching something on TV, and that made us think of Grand Canyon, and we want to go to see Grand Canyon one day. So I actually checked what I would have to pay for flight tickets to go to Arizona, and I was like, oh, it's not too bad actually. Though we do have a few things we want to do, and we don't probably have enough vacation days nor cash to do it all, but time will show. I do see me within a couple of years taking a US vacation. And that led me to the fact that they currently, these days, I think for 2 more days or something like that, has this US offer for 5 days in New York, including flight and hotel, 600 euros per person. That's crazy. Like, how can it be this cheap? So I'm either considering the hotel might be in the suburbs at somewhere you don't want to be, or it's just because it's the time of the year here in the winter where not a lot of people go on vacation. Or it's a third thing. People don't want to go to the US these days because of everything going on. I don't know. It does not seem that there has been much change on the poll for the yarns, so it does seem like we are going to end up with the Muffin Mini Lux for the next project, which is absolutely fine. Meanwhile, I am etching closer and closer to the end of this row. And that is where I'm going to pick up the dark yellow. And for the easiness of this, I think we will pick up the dark yellow, and then we'll start looking at patterns, because then it's kind of done, right? It's not too bad with the carrying in here. You can't see it if you know it, but it's not like screaming away. So I'm actually pretty pleased with how this is working up so far. This was better. And then we will insert this stitch mark. As I say, this stitch marker is really a thicker one compared to some of the stitch markers I have. I like this so far. We will, I think we will test this on my sweet head to see if it actually sort of fits me before finishing the stream. Anyhow, we have 6 minutes left on the poll. We have 14 votes in, and the one in behind. So in fourth place currently, we have the Candy Royal here from Stanley. It's 100% cotton cake. And this would be the color matching combinations. The fun thing is it looks a lot lighter on screen than it is in reality, because in here it's not as it's more pink than white, where in the very center in here it is really white. But this is like out here, it's more pink than it's white, but it seems a bit white on the screen. So for that I do apologize. It's a little bit more visible here, I would think. So that one is in the back end of the pack. The third place currently is this gorgeous yarn art, which is this rusty colors towards orange, pink, white. I think this is a gorgeous one for autumn. I really do. I like it. I like these rusty colors. Then our third place yarn currently is this yarn art flowers, a bit newer, to blue to mauve colors. So we start with this navy blue, go to medium blue, light blue, which goes into pink until it goes into this dusty dark pink, mauve colored. I think it's a gorgeous cake. And it's a long time since I've worked with yarn art, so I actually wouldn't mind working with one of these cakes. And the one that's currently in the lead is this absolutely gorgeous Stanley Muffin Mini Luxe. As I said, we have 14 votes. You have 5 minutes if you want to change anything. Cast your votes, change your vote. It's possible, I believe. But that will be this one as an option. And right now, this is starting to win. So what are we gonna do? I think what we're gonna do is we are gonna jump on to Ravelry like this, and then we are gonna find Ines Patterns, which is Red Teapot Designs. Red Teapot Atelier. She made this English breakfast tea shawl. I think that's nice too, but not for the purpose of what we have been doing here. And there's a lot of sewing in this one, which is the reason I've not gone that route yet. I'll be honest. And I also don't have the pattern. You have the iced tea shawl. I don't think I have that pattern either, actually, because I only have the somewhat older patterns. We could probably find the patterns I have by going on Hobby, because that is definitely where I have most of my patterns. And it does remember me, so let's pop in. And we have the plus patterns. I do have the bubble tea shawl pattern, so that is something. I don't have the iced tea shawl. That is also a newer one. It requires 2 cakes also, so if I'm gonna make this one, I will need 2 cakes. So it's not an option. Bubble tea shawl be this one. I also might make more sense actually to pop in on the other one, but let's just. I don't feel like sponsoring Hobby, given the fact that they don't have the plus anymore. I don't know. I'd like to see the price difference, to be honest. It's $8. It's actually more expensive on Ravelry. Odd. But this one is gorgeous, actually. But I do suspect, looking at this, that there is a bunch of bubble stitches looking at these fans. I think it's gorgeous, though. But I have the bubble tea. Susan says, oh my god, I used 2 Rena cakes in 4-ply, I think. super thin thread strands. So I used two patterns, not that worked stitches in spaces, not stitches. Not my favorite yarn to use. Maybe they were 8 strand. Oh, too many loose ends when crocheting. Lisa says used many cakes that's made like that. It just takes practice and practice. Yeah, loose strands do definitely takes practice. I do not have the Rena cakes because Rena is in the US and getting cakes from the US to Europe is, as you know, an expensive challenge. So I do mainly have the European parts. I do believe I have the Lapsang sea tall as well. I should have. Yes, I do. Load more, please, because I do have a bunch of more. I do have a bunch of more, but I do have the Lapsang. This is gorgeous, but the challenge with using the Paimutanti is also again 2 cakes, etc. I'm not gonna do that, and not in a mosaic crochet. I have one going already, so that's not gonna happen. It's just not happening. We have the Paimutan T-shawl. I think I actually do have this one, if I'm not wrong. I should have. I do have a few, as you can see, bunch of stuff. I all grabbed it when we could get a Sam T-shawl. I think it requires more than 1 cake as well as Earl Grey, so that can't be. There is a Gabby bucket hat. Is it so long ago? I have the Love Tea, so that's definitely also an option. Yeah, see, I have the Paimutan. Good. So that's also an option, the Paimutan. And we have the Love Tea somewhere. The Earl Grey tea shawl, but that is a solid color and it's quite long, so that's not an option. Ginger teapot cowl I made recently. The Ginmasha tea shawl is also 2 cakes, so not an option. Moroccan mint tea shawl, I should have 2 somewhere, if I'm not wrong. I thought. I don't. I would be rather disappointed if I don't have it. Or maybe I can't spell. I can't spell. That's sad. According to this, I don't have it, so that's easy. I'm sorry. This is not gonna be the shawl I'm making because apparently for some reason I did not. Oh yeah, I already have it, so yes, I can make that too. So that's also an option. And we're going through them just in a minute. Oh my goodness, the vote is kind of ended. Jasmine tea shawl I already made, so that's not an option. The Dieting I made and the Ceylon tea shawl I made, but I haven't made the Love tea shawl. And I have it. And the Pure tea I also already made, so that's also not an option. And then we have the Oolong tea shawl, which could be an option because that is a free pattern actually of hers. So that would be the options we have to choose between. Yes. But what we first need to do is, let's see, I could do this, pop over here, because we need to finish the poll. Ta-ta! Poll has ended. The results should be shown in chat. And our winner, my friends, is this super duper gorgeous yarn. Muffin Mini Luxe is the winner. And these purple colors. So this is yarn we will be using for the shawl. And we'll need to decide which shawl, of course, I'll be making. But just quickly to see the runner-ups. This gorgeous one. Then it was this gorgeous one in third. And a fourth place is this gorgeous royal candy from Stendy. But the obvious speaking is that we are gonna find out which Muffin Mini Locks pattern we're gonna work with. And as said, we have the options for the oolong shawl, and it's very valid that not every yarn is for everyone. I dislike strongly anything bigger than a 4 worsted. I have to say I've quite enjoyed making these more like chunkier beanies with multiple stranded yarns. And I've also had fine experience with working up the headbands and so on in this very chunky yarn. But overall scene, I do agree that I'd prefer probably thinner yarns. Like I'm trying not to exceed the 5mm crochet hook. So we are gonna make a new poll for the pattern. Which pattern we're going to make with the chosen cake. So I just need to. We have a few options because we have 6 options. So let's see. What I really need to do is I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna list them alphabetically, which would be the bubble tea shawl, and then we have the lapsang. What's easy is it's all by the same designer. So then it's the love tea. And then it's and then it's Moroccan mint, which please don't make me cry. But if you want me to make that, that is what we'll be making. Oh my goodness, I can't add more than 4 options. That's not cool. That's not cool. E. I wanted 6 options, but I can't. I'm working on it, Megan. I'm working on it. Well, I suggest we will hold a poll without having a physical poll, and then you come with my suggestions in chat. And the most chosen suggestions is what I will be polling, because I can only have 4 choices in the poll, but I have 6 options. Okay? So I will flip the screen over and show you one by one the options. If you think that is a shawl I should make, then feel free to mention it. If there is a shawl where you're like, nah, then don't mention it. And those that's most mentioned is what I will be polling, and we'll do a poll based on that. I think that seems to be the best. Option 1 is the bubble tea shawl here. And I think it is a gorgeous shawl. Most definitely. I'm just popping it up in a little bit bigger size. I'm afraid there's a lot of fluff stitches here, so I'm not sure if I'll enjoy it in that sense. But it doesn't matter because I will be making it. I do think it's nice. That said, I will be doing that to light, so I will be doing a bit different and different colors. But I think it's a gorgeous shawl as just a shawl. Then the next option is the Lapsang tea shawl. It's a little bit more detailed in the sense of there's a bit more airiness to it, but it definitely also have puff stitches. So don't think about my puff stitches, just pick which you choose. So the first was the bubble tee. You can just call it bubble, is fine. We have the lapsang tea shawl. You don't need to write the whole, but just, the short enough for me to understand what you mean. So the lapsang tea shawl could be the next option. We are just going to pop it up in a little bit bigger photos here for you to see. Yep, definitely puff stitches for me, but that is just how it's going to be if this is your choice. I will have to make it eventually. So that is another option here. We are going dark. We start up top in the dark and we will go to a lighter color. That is my only thing that I will say, because last time when I worked with these Stanley cake, I started from the inside and I did have a slight tendency of yarn bath towards the very end. And this time I'd like to do it opposite just to see if I have a better experience working with it like that. And I think it's fine doing dark to light. So that is my requirement. Keep that in mind. So that is Lapsang T-shawl. Then we have the Love T-shawl, which is an option as well, which is also a pattern I have. She has a few color options in this pattern, as you can see. I do believe I even have this yarn somewhere in my stash. But this is the Love Tea shawl. Also a bit airy. Definitely does puff stitches, so I personally would probably prefer this one opposed to one with more puff stitches. But as I said, don't think about that. This is a Love Tea shawl, another option. Then we have the Moroccan Mint Tea shawl, which should contain a lot of puff stitches. So that is just gonna be, but we'll be fine. I think this is a gorgeous shawl, to be honest. I definitely want to make it. I'm not sure if this is the right yarn to make it in. But I think it's a gorgeous shawl. I really do. Looking at the yardage you need here, it's not really an option, ideal option, because it says 1500 to 1600 meters, so we'll have to make it shorter. That is likely due to it being more dense stitch-wise required, so maybe I should check the others and see what they say. This is this is good. This is also reasonably good, actually. This one is also good. So the Moroccan mint tea is not ideal. It's not ideal based on the yardage needed and the yardage I have available. So it's not ideal choice. Based on that alone, I should probably remove it. Then we have the oolong tea shawl. That is possible. She has made it with a constant color transitions, which is nice, but there is also one with a more solid version of it. This is the oolong tea. I do actually like it. It's nice on its own. So that is an option for sure. But I think we have to remove the Moroccan just based on the fact that it needs more yardage than I have available. So we'll close that one down as an option. I'm sorry, I made the choice for you. And we have the Pai Mu Tan tea shawl here. And it also requires more yarn, I can see here, 1500 to 1600 meters, which I don't have in the cake we chose. So again, this cake yarn shawl is not going to be so. It automatically, based on the yarn requirements, narrowed it down. I am sorry, friends, but that is just how it's going to be. What we are going to do now is I am going to set up the poll. And we will have a look at that based on the poll. Which shawl pattern with a Stanley muffin mini? Yeah, it's a difficult choice, definitely. If you are kind to me, then you are probably gonna pick either the Love Tea shawl or the Oolong Tea shawl. If you are less kind to me and you just pick whichever you think is nicest, then you'll pick whichever you think is nicest. I am working on the final poll for you guys. Given the other patterns automatically remove themselves due to the yarn requirements, and I don't have the extra yarn. It's just as simple as is. What I will be doing is, now I know actually they need this much yarn. Either I will need to have enough single skeins available, or I might consider, because as I said, there are some of these German creators, yarn creators, like basically like Rena Yarns, who make these yarn cakes. They are in German as well, and I can get them on a more specified length as to what I want. So I'm more keen to get a cake of that to work it up, I think. So yeah, hurry up, vote, 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 vote. Yeah, Megan, I did cut those two. That's too long. I did that. Exactly. Susan, hurry up. You can reach the vote, hopefully, before you have to go, because I know you said you have to go soon. And for those in doubt, I'm just holding up the cake. We are gonna work it up. This is the cake that we are gonna, these dark purples to the lighter purples. It's almost a pink in the center, like purple pink with a silvery thread. I see the votes are coming in. So far, the Lapsang Tea-Shawl seems to be the favorite. What we are gonna do is I'll pop back over for you guys to see the shawls again. We have the Bubble Tea Shawl, which is a gorgeous shawl. I'll say that. We have the Lapsang Tea Shawl. Again, remember, I will be starting with the dark purple. So the dark purple will be in the center. We have the Love Tea Shawl. Let's do it like this. I think this is a nice one too, actually. Maybe I'll do that with a Candy Royal. And we have the Oolong Tea Shawl. Ta-ta. Like this. Bubble Tea Shawl, my friends. The Lapsang Tea Shawl. The Love Tea Shawl. Or the Oolong Tea Shawl. Vote, 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 vote. And then we'll figure out what we'll be doing. I can tell you, I am curious. I am very curious. So far, we have 4 votes in. I do see we are more in the stream, so feel free to vote. As said, this is a yarn we will be using for it. Yeah, it's gorgeous. It really is. So the real question is, we need to let the poll run for a bit. So we could jump back to continue with the crocheting we were doing. I do apologize. I am slightly ever so tired, apparently. And we are working with a 4mm hook here. Tommy says it's also slowly gonna be dinner time. Let's see. Where did we go? We are gonna go on the dark yellow. So yeah, what we are gonna do is I'm probably gonna do 1 or 2 more rows, which is approximately, I think, I'll probably need more, but I'm just thinking time-wise. I'll make 2 more rows. Should be, I don't know, 20-ish or so minutes. As I said, time-wise, it should be fine. So we need to take on this yarn to carry it, and we'll pull it through here. And now I just need to untangle Now we are ready. Except what I do want to do is I want to insert the stitch marker before too late. And really, I don't know what it is, but I got one of these stitch markers. So for some reason, this stitch marker is really thick. It's a really dense one. And I have a few of those, and I really don't know where I got them from. Where I have some of them, they're thinner in the plastic, and they're a lot more pleasant to use. This one just feels so chunky. Do you have those as well? Like you have stitch markers of different thickness, and you have some that you just somehow gravitate to use more than others? But yeah, so far it definitely looks like I'll have to make the lapsang t-shirt, and then that is just how it's going to be. And no need to worry, I'm absolutely fine with whichever shawl you choose. Lisa says, so lately the only stitch markers I've been using are the light bolt safety pin type. Right. I've used some. I don't think I have them anywhere close though. The round ones to put on knitting needles because I've been knitting recently. But else, I mainly use these plastic ones. And I do have a bigger bag somewhere, but I just, for the sake of it, oh, they're all the way over there. I have this old tin box where there has been peppermints in, like limited edition peppermints, because they don't always come in these tin boxes. I washed off the box, but it's a perfect size for stitch markers, that is, if it wants to open. And there is a tension ring, which I can tell you I've not had too much success with using. This tension ring does not speak to me. I've tried it, but no, but it's just laying in here. So that's my box of stitch markers. The red one here, for example, is quite thin. And this pink one is quite thick. Let's see if I can actually, if it's even possible to see. Maybe the green one would be better because the green ones I had is thick. No, it's not because it's not showing. I have this one, but I don't know where the others is. But let's see if it's even visible here. Sorry. You can't really see it, I think, but maybe if I hold them like this next to one another, you can see that the pink one, that is if the camera wants to zoom enough, but you can clearly see the pink one is thicker plastic than the red one. So the red one is an easy open, easy close, but the pink one I need to put more force into, and it feels chunkier. Because it is chunkier, because there is a thickness difference. But I don't know where I got them from. Oh. Then I have these light purple ones, but they are also the thin ones, as well as the blue ones. So I don't have that many of the super thick ones. Oh, here's another thick one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I got them from, but funnily enough, there's a difference. Yeah, that's a point. I think I also got like a pack with, I don't know, 200 whatever pieces in. And is it a year or two ago? 1.5 years ago. I was at a place and a friend of mine saw my stitch markers and she was like, "Oh, that's super handy what you have there." And I was like, "Oh, do you want some? I have extra." And she was like, "Yes, please." So I gave her a small handful and she was really, really happy. So, and they cost very little on Temu. So yeah, I got some of them from Temu, but I also got some of them as gifts with whatever. I think I do have some light bulb ones in my. I have like a crate with some random knits and bits. Yeah, I do have some of those because I was doing a crochet project at some stage with some really thin yarns, and those stitch markers were a little bit too thick for that. So yeah, I do have some of those. Those though, I think I got from Hobby. Oh, just one moment. Somebody is at my door, so I will be right back.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts run.
I'm back. Sorry about that. But actually, it was my neighbors. And guess what? Apparently, it was my neighbor, or they celebrated his birthday today, and they have cake over. So I got cake. 2 pieces, one for me, one for my partner, but he's not home, so I'm not gonna eat it all though. I'm gonna save it for tonight. Then once he's home, we'll have a piece of cake. Awesome neighbors, don't you think? My goodness. Cake. Ah, yeah. So that was what happened. Of course, she's more than welcome to bust my doorbell if that means that I get free cake. So very kind and polite. Anyhow, as I said, we are gonna do maybe 2 rows. time flow of it. Definitely the one, and then we'll see how far we are with the time. Because I am able to stand around for a little bit longer. I do have to cook some dinner for myself though, so the longer I wait, the longer I have to wait for food. We do have some more votes meanwhile, I see. We are on 5 votes now. We have 1 for the bubble tea shawl, 3 for the lapsang tea shawl, and 1 for the love tea shawl. So right now, lapsang is gonna be the winner, which basically means that in that event, it will be the one I make first. The other shawls are imminent pending. So yeah, I will definitely have to make. I might just put them on row and then say like I'll make the other ones afterwards. Based on that. That could be an option. Usually if I'm good, I'll probably do like a shawl a month or so. Because I also do other projects in between. That said, as we all know, I do want to kind of finish Fleur this year. And that blanket is going to take some of my attention. And next time I'm going to Denmark is a shorter trip. So I will probably bring something with me, but it has to be like a small project or a project I'm already working on that's easy to bring. For example, like this is easy to bring back. Lisa says lapsang has puffs, bubbles, and clusters, by the way. Yeah, well, just my luck, I guess. I really like the new design she's working on as well. It looks good. But I told you guys, I'll do whatever you pick for me. Benefit is it is cooling down, and I did take off my shawl, and I can feel already that my hands are slowly cooling down. So I guess I was getting warm due to the shawl. That said, I do feel I'm having the tendency of a cold neck, so it's like, I would say in Danish, pest or cholera, pest of the plague. Yeah, the new design she's making is absolutely gorgeous. I totally agree. I absolutely agree. This, by the way, I think it's nice. These colors, they also come in a thinner cotton. This could also work up nicely. Like, get some of these in the thinner cotton and then crank those out on a shawl. Okay, Stina, don't think too much because the way I'm talking to myself right now is how I usually end up buying yarn. But I think that could be nice in a shawl too. When I made her jasmine tea shawl, I made them of individual thinner cottons, which I basically cut and attached and cut and attached and cut and attached. The jasmine tea shawl, I do have a photo of that on Instagram. So I'm just gonna pop over there and see if I can find it quickly for you guys. Da, da, da. We are gonna do like this. Ta-ta! Here we have it. This shawl is made in loose skeins of 8/4, so Happy Friends cotton 8/4 or 4/8. Oh, I don't remember, but 84. I think there were 11 or 12. I only had one skein of each. The only thing that I did that wasn't fully according to pattern is I ended up doing an extra row of black. So that was an extra color change to the black because I felt it kind of needed it. But this is a jasmine t-shirt that I made and loose individual cotton skeins. So there was a lot of color changing and sewing in ends and so on. But I really liked this. And Ines, so Red Tea Patatier, so that is her first name, she liked it as well and asked if she was allowed to share it. So she did. Yeah. And I like the result of this too. I do admit. I do admit. But yes, her new design is absolutely gorgeous. I could see if I could find it. She should have it on here. Sorry for popping back and forth too quick. Here's her newest design. I'm surprised how quickly she can work up new designs and write patterns. I'm in awe, deep respect, definitely. And I'm clearly not as quick. But this one is gorgeous too. And I actually do have a Twister Halloween. The Silver Needle Cheese Shawl is the name of this. We are all eagerly waiting for the pattern release, and this shawl is definitely a shawl I want to make. Like, zero doubts. I definitely want to make this one. I think it could be really nice. I'm now tempted to make it. I do have a merino cake as well. Just like Isa says, she has a merino cake waiting for this new design. If we pop back to, Pleta. Takes a bit to load. And I need this in English because my Bulgarian sucks. I don't know a word in Bulgarian at all. It's Cyrillic letters, language they use actually, just for fun facts. And we know that the merino cakes is on sale. I'm thinking that shawl could be absolutely gorgeous in this cake. In this one. In this black one. This looks like I need to kind of go further down. So, in that cake, I think it could be gorgeous in. And I have that cake. So that will be a center pull, I think, to make it the best. So I could be considering making it in that. Because it kind of matches the silver needle. It's kind of like grayish. Lisa says she has now colorway 542. That is the ones here in stock. So it's currently not in stock what Lisa talks about. So let's pop over and see which that could be. 542. I see more gorgeous stuff. 542 would be this one. And we'll have to scroll down. My goodness, it's gorgeous. I like this. That's a nice one. I have this one. That's the one it was because I have this one in my stash. That could be gorgeous too, by the way. But that one I have in my stash. I know, because it's gorgeous. And I think this could be really nice though. I want to add this to my stash. Now I want to shop really badly yarn. I am curious because I see here that they are like buy more, play less. I am keen to see if they will pop the discount. If, like, let's say we get 3 merinos, will I save 1%? Just take an example. This one is gorgeous. We just talked about that one. And I can only get, obviously, those that's in stock. We want that one, and I want the green one because I want the green one. And then the curiosity tells me I'm not buying them, but this is just to see, will they actually pop them cheaper, or do I need them physically to be of the same? Oh, it's not popping over. Or no, it's not showing that at all. Weird. That seems to be the same. Well, it depends on the cake. Some of them are multiple. Okay, look, it's kind of disappeared. If you buy multiple, it's discounted. Weird. Well, let's then get, I don't know, crazy thing. Will they get discounted if I add? Oh, they don't have that many in stock. I don't know, maybe that's why. I had the idea that would be even cheaper, but maybe not. We can also just remove one. We should be able to see if the price increases. It seems to have to be the same, or the system is flawed. Anyhow, as I said, I'm not buying them because, obviously, for obvious reasons. No, I should not buy. I used 519 to make 2 ginger tea cowls. Oh, I logged away too soon. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna finish this row because that's just 3 more stitches. Then I really should make one more of the, oh my goodness, I am so in love with this yarn. It's gorgeous to say the least. 519. Oh, it's also not in stock. I have the feeling I have this one too, but I'm not 100% sure. 519, this is nice. The only thing I'm less keen on is actually the gray on the outside. I think it would have been nicer without the gray. Like a thicker teal. But yeah, oh, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. But I think it's still nice. Like, it's just, I think I had preferred it without the gray, but maybe it's not too bad when you see it in real life. I need the light. So the Canario color. I'm just at the color change. And what we are gonna do is I am gonna do that row. And that is gonna be my last row for today, at least during this live. There we are. But this is gorgeous. Gorgeous. As I said, there's quite a few. They have quite a few nice ones. This one is nice too. I like this one. Also not in stock. Forest nymph. This could be nice too. I want to buy yarn, but I shouldn't. This is nice too. This is really, really not good. Like, it's really, really tempting right now. Extremely tempting. Extremely tempting. I do need an extra stitch marker because I'm tired of just using the same. Plus, it's not nice when it's thick like that. Give me a purple one. Teal and grey, I mean. Let's see. That's why I made two cows. One is the pink and the other one is the teal and grey. I got it from the outlet for like $6. Ah, yeah. Sometimes they have these insanely great offers in their outlet. So if I'm getting anything from Pleta, I tend to also just give them a visit at the outlet because sometimes they have some insanely good offers in the outlet. That is true. Let's see. They usually have this outlet for cakes. Time flies, I know. We're a little bit late today compared to what we normally would be. Don't they usually have like the outlet here? The panna cotta I do have a few yarns of. It's not for sale, but Christmas selection, muffin limited edition. I don't see it here. Why is that the case? Outlet. Cake outlet, thank you. Now you need to find it. I do have some of the panna cottas. I believe I have this one. And one more. Could it be the panna cotta I have in this? That's an option that it's a panna cotta and not the muffin. It's also merino acrylic fiber, so it's kind of the same concept, except the panna cotta is longer in length. So actually, if I could option to use the panna cotta for one of those longer shawls. That could be an option. Idea pending. Don't have that, and I don't have that, but I think they're nice. Or I have some of those that's in here. Maybe. I know for sure I have one of my panna cottas from the outlet as well. But I don't see it here. This one is nice. But I don't see it here. Nope. Anyhow, the outlet. Ta-ta. They currently do have merino cakes there. And if I would get any, this would be the only one really speaking to me. and it's a bit cheaper. It's 5% cheaper than the others. They have a muffin fresh in the Christmas colors. It's not really speaking to me. And then the baby muffin baby impression. It's not really speaking that much to me either. This is kind of okay. I'm just sad about the gray before the pink. But it sort of works because of the white in between the green. But this one is nicer, I think, personally. If I were about to make an order, I would probably put this one in my basket too. And the thing is, if I would make an order, I would spend at least 155 euros because in the EU, free shipping. But the reality is, I am not about to make an order because I am shopping my stash. We all know that. I'm shopping my stash. We have some more votes meanwhile. Ah, okay. In the sales tab. Lapsang T-Shawl is still getting most of the votes, and then it is the Love T-Shawl, and then afterwards it's a Bubble T-Shawl. The Oolong T-Shawl has 0 votes so far. But yeah, so we are gonna end the poll once I'm finished with this row. It will take 5 to 10 minutes. So if you do want to have any influence at all on the pattern that I will be using with this cape, does this lay nicely in? Yeah, it does. Let's let it lay here. I will be working from the outside in, just to see how I like working with it like that. Also slightly bit because last time I worked with the same cake, different color, I did have a little bit of yarn bath towards the end, and I was doing a center pull, and it was quite much a pain in the ass to untangle this. I spent more than an hour untangling yarn. That was not very pleasant at all. Luckily though, I had finished everything I had to crochet, so I was more untangling it to wind it up instead of just dumping it. So I did have some yarn left, which I think I might end up double stranding, triple stranding, maybe with some, I could be with some other yellows, but definitely with a white, orange, and I'll probably like knit a beanie or something like that with it. I think that would work out fine together. At least that's my thoughts right now. So I will do this as an outside pull. Lisa says she also finds these cakes a total pain to center pull. Yes, ma'am. My cranky. I was not happy with the center pull, but it worked up, luckily. But I am gonna do an outside pull for this one. I'm not gonna even remotely attempt. I don't even entertain the idea of doing that. I just want to see how this works up, and then we'll see based on that. Obviously, some projects will definitely look nicer if they are center pulled. It kind of depends, obviously, on what you would like your project to speak. Um, so, but yeah, I'll work from the outside, especially because I've heard of all the puffs and bubbles and whatnot is gonna be in the pattern that you guys are likely choosing for me. I'm not going to want to on top fight with possibly yarn buff. So we will definitely be working outside in. And I'm probably even gonna put it on my yarn spindle as well, just to help keeping track of it. That would make good sense. It would spin fine. And yeah, there's a nice center it could go in, so I'll probably do the yarn spindle. Anyhow, there's about 5 minutes left on that poll. That also fits with when I really want to sort of end the stream. So yeah, go vote. If you haven't done it yet, you do have the option. What I will do just before ending the vote, I will do that when I finish this row. We will just go over the options again with photos of the designs. And then, once we've done that, I'll give you 1 minute to get the votes in, and we'll end it, and then we know. Boom. I'm just gonna, as I said, finish this row. Oh, and what we also need to do is see how this fits me, if it fits at all. They work great on the spindle. Good to know. That was what I was suspecting. Henge, I do have a spindle ready for it. Don't know why I didn't put these yarns on spindle. Probably because they are short rows. And with the yarn changing colors, it's just a bit of a tangle to keep changing them on the spindle. That can cause internal yarn puff as well, because the yarn constantly gets spit on these yarn spindle. Jabbed might be a better word, actually. So yeah, we are closing up towards the end, which means that the other two cakes I can put back in their box where they belong. I did find them yesterday, so I sort of semi-prepared. And we are almost at the end. I would, in case, need to change yarn to the latte color, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna sort of semi close this one. I really do like how this is turning out, by the way. Oh, there went my little yarn indent. So. We are gonna just quickly go through the options again before finalizing the vote. And for this yarn, the purple one, Muffin Mini Luxe, you elected earlier today, we can do the Bubble T-Shawl or the Lapsang T-Shawl or the Love T-Shawl or the Oolong T-Shawl. Make your choices. That is the options. Bubble T-Shawl, Lapsang T-Shawl, Love T-Shawl, or the Oolong T-Shawl. Time to get your votes in. And meanwhile, we'll pop this one up. Da, 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 da. And we'll pop over here. And we should probably go a little bit lighter. It is gorgeous. Get your votes in, get your votes in, get your votes in. I need to watch out I don't put it there because, as I said, I got cake. And I don't want it to tip over in the cake. I am gonna test fit this hat. It might not fit me at all. I just made a valid guess based on last time. And if that's cool, then that's cool. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But that's fine. I'm still gonna finish it. So I'm just gonna take off my headset and we'll test. And once that's done, we'll finish the poll. So get your votes in. Let's see. Maybe you can still hear me. I've tried to put the mic just there. Hello. Well, it sort of semi-fits, I would say. Ooh. It's I think it's actually quite good. It just needs some more rows. And I like the yellows, so that's nice. Hallelujah. I just hope ouch. As said, I did the single crochets up here in a bigger hook compared to what I've done down here. And I kind of hope that is the difference, because what I really felt with the previous was that when I was doing the granny stitches here, that it went sort of a lot kind of wider and then it kind of bubbled out. And I'm kind of trying to prevent that. And it seems so far this is working up nicer. So maybe it's not too bad. Also, I am carrying the yarn. And this is where I kind of started. And it's carrying like this. So you can see it's slightly thicker where I'm carrying it, but it is on the inside and on the outside. Nothing to be seen. I'm pleased. Would I want to carry 4 strands like this? No. But 3 works. 3 works. So I am just gonna take all of this, including my 4mm and my 5mm, and all of my yarn labels, and put back in this project crate. And then, my friends, we are gonna finish the poll. It does not look like more votes has arrived. Well, single maybe. But we have finished the poll, and here we are. We are gonna make the lapsang Shawl. We are gonna start from the darker color outside. So I am gonna close down the other options here. And I really should not look at this outlet yarn. Oh my goodness, I really feel like chopping yarn. It's bad. Anyhow, this, my friends, is the shawl we're gonna make, where we will be starting from the dark purple, going towards the light purple pinkish at the outer edge. And when will I be finished? I don't know. In a month or so? Depending on how busy I get with everything. Maybe towards goal will be to finish it sometime in October. That seems like a fair goal. It depends on how busy I get on all my other projects, right? So that was pretty much it for today. We hanged out for actually a solid half an hour longer than usual. It's not always possible for me to do so, but I had an absolutely amazing time with you guys, and today it was possible, so therefore we did it. I am now gonna start cooking my dinner because my stomach is telling me that I need to eat within the next hour, definitely, which is fair because it is 5:34 p.m. Central European Time. I had a wonderful time. I hope you had a great time too. We did some crocheting done. We talked about yarn. We checked yarn. We were tempted to buy yarn, which we managed not to buy. What also is, the vote told me that after I've done the Lapsang tea shawl, I should start probably on the Love tea shawl and then the Bubble tea shawl, and then the Oolong will come as the last bit. And of course, we do have those two other shawls I really love to make at some stage, but I will either have a bunch of solid colors to do like color changing for it, or I will need to order a make fit yarn cake to the set length required for the yarn. Um, and that is out in the future, so that's not going to be anytime soon. I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching. If you're rewatching this live and you have made it this whole, I think, 3.5 hours, thank you so much. It means the world to me. And I will definitely be back Friday with a yarn talk video, and maybe I'll be back sooner. Who knows? It kind of depends on everything. But one thing is for sure, I'll be back Friday with the yarn talk video where we finished 2 projects, and I'm going to show you them both. If I'm good, maybe I'll finish 3 because I'm definitely more than halfway through that hat. But I don't think I'll manage because I have a few other things going on as well. I will be back Monday. If everything goes well, I'll be back Monday at 8 a.m. Eastern. So on Monday at 2 p.m. Central European Time. That will be 7 a.m. Central, 6 a.m. Mountain Time, and 5 a.m. if you're all the way in the Pacifics. It would be sometime late evening if you're in Australia. I hope to see you guys around. And I'm going to say see you guys definitely on Monday. And before then, I will be back Friday making the summary of everything that's been going on for the last 2 weeks and what I've finished to make until then and the current projects. And we will definitely be talking about the Stanley Muffin Cake once more. So, yeah, bye. It was absolutely wonderful to hang out with you guys.